I have a couple questions. First of all, there was some mention in the news of people afterwards picking 22 shells out of the vests of the ATF agents, and what the news media and what I saw, they were saying that David Christ gave 22 rifles to the kids and said, here, this is live target practice for you.
Somebody is sick in my head.
I'm just trying to tell you what I had heard, you know.
Well, you can hear anything these days.
Well, I
but that is not true. The children were not allowed. Look, our children were protected. They weren't taught to kill people.
Well, I understand that, ma'am. My background is Seventh-day Adventist, so I know a little about it.
Yeah.
And that, but also at the same time, I was raised out in Utah. I always went deer hunting with my dad, and he gave me a 22 when I was young.
Right.
And I agree with you. I would have defended myself had something like that happened, although I think I might have been a conscientious objector had I gone to war. It's common among Adventists. Never seemed to slow them down either. They received several medals of honor.
Well, no. The children are not given guns that they could shoot, 22s or anything else. And one thing that he did do was he bought these very small imitation guns because the children wanted to like their dad.
Okay.
And they were not allowed to use those at all times. They were, you know, they'd play cowboys and Indians and all that sort of thing, but it wasn't anything else.
Yeah, okay. The other question, you were not there then the day that the ATF raided the first initial raid?
Yes, I was.
You were?
Oh, yeah.
And your guys just didn't have enough weapons? Or I mean, to me, I find that hard to believe. I would always have, you know, a rifle around or something if I lived out in the country.
I know people in Texas, where I come from, people do not have guns around, because I come from the East Coast, and they don't go hunting and that sort of thing, but I know people in Texas do. But they had, Paul was going to a gun show, and apparently had picked up most of the things that were around and took them with us, because we did not expect anything like this. One thing we did wonder, or, you know, was concerned about, was that someone might try to take the children from us. And so we did not allow them to go all over our area, except they were with an adult.
Okay. The other question I had, there was some talk about David Koresh collecting weapons that he was going to use offensively. I mean, like go into a church and shoot a bunch of people. Can you comment on that at all?
No, he wouldn't do that.
He doesn't sound like the
Do you know what his weapon was?
Truth.
His weapon was truth, and that's what he was using. He was trying to get people to understand what the truth was. That was his weapon.
Yeah, I
Earl, the line's growing behind you.
I know. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Whoever would like to do next.
In at an angle and firing. How do you know they were firing?
I could see the flames, and I also could hear the noise.
You could see a muzzle flash coming from these helicopters that you recognized as firing, and you could hear...
It looked, you know, when you see a movie, and it's one of those movies where they're at war, and you see the helicopters going in and shooting, it was like that.
Did you see any of the bullets strike from those helicopters firing?
No.
Every 10th round on a 20-millimeter cannon on a gunship is a tracer.
Well, you and I might know that, but it's important that she knows that.
I didn't know that.
That's a military load.
Okay, let's have his question.
You said when you went out on March 2nd and they put you in an ATF vehicle, and they were driving away. You said that was the first time you saw ATF, and I think you said that was the first time you knew it was police. Who did you think between February 28th and March 2nd, what was your understanding of what was going on and who these men were who were shooting you?
I didn't know who they were. I didn't realize, it was like I was in Never Land. I didn't really realize actually what they were doing.
But there must have been some discussion over those days that whether it was the Army or...
We didn't discuss that.
Okay, and third question, I'm just wondering, what's the current legal situation? I take it charges against you have been dismissed.
Yeah.
Are there still people being held who are awaiting trial on conspiracy to murder?
Yeah.
Do you know when those trials are supposed to occur?
Yeah, the 10th of June.
10th of June this coming year, or this year?
Yeah, just a few days from now. I'm sorry, January.
10th of January. That's okay. And do you know if there's any grand jury in Texas that's looking into charging any of the federal officials?
I don't know.
Not that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Vince, do you have a list of all the children that died and all those that are missing, etc.? I'll fax it over to you tomorrow, too. All right.
Hi. In the media, it said that David claimed to be the Messiah. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
So he claimed to
He
be
did
Jesus
not.
Christ?
No. David did not say, I am this, I am that. He would give you a study from the Bible, and it was up to you to decide what he was talking about. In Revelation 5, it talks about the book that the Father has in his hand, and the book, no one could open that book. In fact, the angel asked who is worthy to open the book. And no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth. And so then you see a lamb, and the Father gave the book to the lamb. Now, it's up to you to decide who the lamb is. It's not up to me to tell you.
Okay, if you study the scriptures said that Jesus was the lamb. And
Christ was the lamb.
yeah, so David claimed that he could unloose these 7 seals.
He claimed, and he did. He taught us the 7 seals.
Okay, but teaching the 7 seals and unloosing the 7 seals is 2 different things.
No.
And if you study your scriptures, that's not scriptural.
There is no one else in the world that can put the 7 seals with an understanding with the prophecies from all the other books.
Well, just because he could make you understand the scriptures doesn't mean that he was actually the Messiah. Because if you study the scriptures, if you really study the scriptures, Jesus is not here on earth. He's in heaven. So therefore, he was misleading you in the scriptures.
I would not argue with you.
Okay.
You have another question.
Yeah. Okay. Also, the media said that he was sleeping with, you said that he had multiple wives. Is that true? You said he had more than one wife?
I didn't say that. I said he had come out on a tape and said he did have more than one wife.
Okay. Well, was he sleeping with some of the younger women?
I don't know who he slept with. I didn't follow him around to see what he was doing.
Okay. Also, the media also said that the local sheriff had been out to your compound.
The sheriffs had come out to our place quite a few times. They came out when the Rodens were in charge. I knew some of them. And yes, they came out.
Okay. When the raid was going on, was there...
Sheriffs had nothing to do with it.
Okay, I understand. Were you trying to get in contact with the sheriff and see...
Wayne kept in contact with the sheriffs over his CB or radio, whatever it was that he used. Shortwave or something, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah. He knew them very well. They were friends.
Catherine, I'd like to thank you for coming and speaking to us tonight and answering questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you.